Welcome. Let's jump straight into practice. We'll focus a lot around the hips and explore some variations in half moon pose. So we'll start in a cross-legged position. You may like to do this funny looking thing where you slightly change the angle of the pelvis using a friendly brick, if you have one there. So you pop one edge of the brick against your shins and the other edge onto your pubis. Looks kind of weird, but it can feel really nice. I think especially if you're someone who tips forward easily from the pelvis. So something like this is going to give you some resistance in that forward fold shape. Either way, with or without a brick coming in. If you don't have a brick there and you want to explore what that feels like, put your hands and push back on your pelvis at the same time as your pelvis comes forward. And just shift your weight a little bit side to side. So just giving a little bit of different input into the body, into the nervous system. Let the focus of the breath come a little towards the back of the body, broadening through the back and the side of the ribs. And let the breath start to feel that it's just finding its own way into the body, so we don't need to make effort to breathe. You can stay quite upright, or you can lean further forward. You can sit on bolsters, so you've got more space for the body, more space for the abdomen or the hips. Just any variation that's good for you. Good, and then walk your hands in to come all the way up to sitting tall. Let your arms reach up high. And then start to turn into a twist and let your arms come across onto the shins or over the thighs as you turn and open the chest more. And then lifting with that back arm to lean across on the diagonal. If that feels like a step too far, go back to where you were. Good, come back through to the center. Check which leg you've got in front. So I'm going to call that my right leg. And then lean back and have a play into opening wide and crossing. Squeeze the knees in, opening wide and crossing and squeezing the knees in. Good, and then come so that you're crossing the second way, different leg in front. If you want to use the brick again, let that come in. Otherwise, you might want to hold the pelvis for a moment so you resist that forward fold shape a little. Let your back round a little bit more this time, so go for some flexion along the spine, some extra flexion. And then go for some extension through the spine, so let the lower back dip and the chest and through to the neck, lift the gaze. Good, and then go back to flexion and come up through neutral spine. And coming into your twist the other way, looking around over that left shoulder, keeping that length coming to the crown of the head, but still dropping down through the sit bones. Noticing the flow of the breath in and out. Breath doesn't have quite so much space here, so you might want to imagine breathing a little bit more into the side or the back of the ribs. And then that back arm, if it feels free, could lift up and over. That kind of pretty tasty stretch often. Lots going on. Yeah, and then come back up through to the center. Good, leaning back. Lift the knees towards your shoulder, one at a time or both together, pulsing either up and down or in and out if you want to work even harder. Good. And then we're going to come through to squatting. So using your hands or not, lifting up into your feet. And you might want to have a bit of height underneath your heels. So if you're not super squatty, go a little bit higher under the heels. Nice. Now, if this isn't a great one for your knees, option to do from standing some internal and external rotation. Otherwise, from wherever you are, we're going to do something similar, dropping down and in with the knee, lifting tall and coming back into that squat, in and down, lifting tall and coming back into your squat. So really good hip and ankle mobility. Push out with the legs and in with the legs onto the arms. And then repeat it again. So either from goddess pose, rotating side to side, or from your squat, turning in and lifting and back. And we'll all meet in standing. Fantastic. Good. So from here, we're going to come to the front of the mat. And if you want some bricks for your hands, if your hamstrings are feeling a bit tighter, have some bricks there. Let's be standing super tall. We'll come through Utkatasana. So coming into your chair pose, if you like that name, or fierce pose, I prefer, it means more like fierce. Good. Push the palms together and get some rotation into your wrists. Let your hands start to lift. Good. And then flex through the wrists as you pull down and extend as you pull up. And again. I said it the wrong way in terms of the wrist, but you know what I mean. Hands to the heart and then forward folding. Let your head go down, let the weight of the head go. Soft in and out breath. Good. Let the legs straighten and bend. Good. And then catch your hands either under the feet or somewhere on the legs that feels comfortable for you. And we're going to go through to squatting and back to the forward fold. So go as wide as you need with the legs. Drop your hips down. And then through to standing. Let your hips lift as your head comes down. 2 more. Last one. And then bring your hands up onto the hips. Do you ever have those moments where you wonder what exactly we're doing? There's such funny shapes in the body. Good. Stand super tall. Let the front of the pelvis feel open so your glutes are a little bit firing. Hands to the heart. Good. And swoosh the arms high. Take a breath in and we'll dive down. Take a forward fold. Good. Let's get the hands under the shoulders or forward of the shoulders. Step back if you need to. Shift your weight forward and back. Just check your wrists are warm. You can always pause and do a little bit more for your wrists. And then press into your fingertips a little. Push so your shoulders are bracing and lightly step or jump back for your plank. Plank position. Good. I'm going to bend the knees a little. Hover the knees and then pull back to the hips. And then hover forward through to plank. Good. Just 2 more. Get the arms and the legs and the core working. Really nice. And then turn onto your right side and just dip a little. Feel along that hip. And lift and pull in with the hip. Dip and lift. Can do 1 or 2 or 3 of those. Good. Through to down dog. And this free arm is going to reach across towards that right calf or shin. And then come through for plank to that left side. Good. Hip can dip. And lift. Good. As you swivel back, reaching across into that twist. Through for your down dog. Onto tiptoes. Through to plank. Lower your knees. And then take your chest through. Opening up. Through to down dog. Which isn't down dog. And then through onto the knees. And then lifting for up dog. Getting there. So lift with your knees, lift with your chest. And let your quads really work. Get your thighs firing. Good. See if you want to go a bit wider with your hands, or do you want bricks under your hands, and see what kind of length you can get
And feel some length along the front of the pelvis. Good, and then through for down dog. Really nice. We're going to do a little lift with one leg. If you'd prefer to do this from table, so it's less tiring, then do the movements from table position. Good, right leg's going to swoosh up and then turn the foot out, so you've got some external rotation. Keep your lower ribs drawn in, quite steady, and just kick up with that leg. And then circle the leg out wide and bring it towards your wrist and place it down. You can bend the knee as much as you need to. Good, so you might want some bricks here to make this a little bit more manageable. Lifting with the toes, draw forward with the chest, fold towards the leg, lift the chest again, place the foot and bend the knee. Forward through the chest, brace there with the legs, lifting up. Reaching tall, arms can be wide or forward, just see what works in your body. Dip with the knee and lengthen. Good, we're going to come back more or less the same way that we came in. So let your hands come down, but bring them inside the leg. And then see, can you pick up that foot? You might want your hands on bricks. And then take your leg wide and up and back. And then we're going to swoosh through the middle. Knee to chest. Good. Knee over to your left arm and then kick it through. Good. And start to open up. So push through the feet and open, fallen star towards the hand to the floor. Rock so you start to get some more sensation around the outer hip and then pull back a little bit like a Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose gone wrong. Lovely, swoosh the leg back to where it came from. And we'll take that on the left side. Again, if you want to do some of this or explore some of the actions from table, then do. Kick the leg up and back, turn the foot out. Keep length on this right side of the body, so you're still pulling back to that right outer hip. Kick up. Really nice. Let your legs swoosh around. Around towards your wrist and down. Good, draw back on that hip. Have some extra height for your hands if you prefer. You can fold towards the leg if you're feeling bendy or not if you're not. Let your foot come down, swooshing up high through to that high lunge. You can keep your ribs down for now so you're feeling more the work in the thoracic, in the upper back. Reach and lift. Good. Let yourself come down. Arms on the inside. Let's see, can we pick up that foot? Hands could be on the bricks or not. Kick the leg out and up and back. Lovely. Swoosh through, knee to the chest. Cross the body. Kick the leg out and down. And then push up, away from the floor. So let your hips work as you get your lift. And come back where you came from. But keep the foot there. Just turn your right hip and foot more towards the floor and draw back. So you feel probably the length along the side or outer hip. And when you're ready, you're going to escape that leg through the center, up and back. And through for your down dog. Good, pull up to the sit bones. You may like to pause the breath with your Uddiyana Bandha breath. So you inhale wide to the side ribs. Exhale, letting the abdomen hollow a little. And pause after the out breath, if that feels comfortable for you. If you've got an empty belly, you can even let the diaphragm sort of hook inside the rib cage more. Chin to chest, tailbone long towards the earth, so that very calming moment of stillness. And then just take a breath. Look forward when you're ready, bend knees. Lightly step or jump feet in towards your hands. And lift forward with the chest. Take a forward fold. And then come through Utkatasana to come through to standing. Smooth breath in and out. Good, let your knees bend, your arms reach high. Let's bring the left elbow to the right knee into a twist. Any kind of variation, hand there or elbow or hand to floor, reaching open. Good, lean back, lifting the arms and then swoosh the arm up. Good, take that twist on the other side, just getting that rotation through the spine, any version that works for you. Reaching back to lift. Good, and bringing the arm all the way around. Reaching high, take a breath in, exhale, forward fold. Come down to the ground. Inhale, lift the chest. Plant the palms, good, lightly step or jump back for plank pose. Really nice. Hover your knees, pull your hips back. Hover your knees, come through for plank. Couple more. And last one. Good, lower onto the top of the foot, lift up, and then start to sink, but feel as if you're both sinking and lifting. So there's a bit of resistance as you explore the shape of the up dog pose. Good. And then lower your knees, bend your knees, rock your feet to one side and the other. Good. And either stay with this windscreen wiper version or go a little wider between the legs. Option to come down if your wrists aren't enjoying it. And lift. Take the knee out and back. Lift. Take the knee out and back. So some active hip mobility from there. You can also do it from up dog, lifting the chest. Knee out and down. Knee out and down. Good, rest or take one more on each side. Getting all the hip stuff going on. Through to down dog. Beautiful. And then from here we're going to hop forward. So come back to the squat position. And see, can you lift up with your arms and with your chest? Hands can be together or wide or interlinked. Tap your hands up. Good. From here, we're going to have the right arm inside the right leg. Use a brick if that works better for you. And we're going to transfer the weight into this right side and shoot the leg back long to side angle pose. Funny way to get into side angle. And then bring that left arm over. So come as high as you want. You don't have to be all the way on the floor. You could be here. You could be here. And then circling around with that right arm, getting all that length on that right side. Good. We're going to start to bend over into the left leg. I think I've done my left and right, said them funny, but bend to the other side. Really nice. And then you're going to tip forward from here. So have an open up, arm to leg, and then drop down with your knee. Good. Shift your weight across and kick up with that leg. Lots of waking up around that hip. Good. Lower, lift, and take your half. Take your gate pose. I've been teaching before this and now my words are going all funny. Take gate pose, Parigasana. You can come as low and as long as you want to, or you can keep it quite high. See what's suiting you. Fantastic. Hand to the floor. Start to bend into that knee and hop up through that back leg. Lengthen through to your fingertips and press through that back foot, whatever that looks like in your body. Good. Turn this way into your long lunge. Rocking, lengthening back, rocking down, some dynamic movement. Rocking down and then squatting one more time. Let your arms reach up and down. Same thing on the other side. Step back, Turn to the side. Angle pose, Uttita Svanasana. Good, let that upper arm circle around. Keep that leg opening so you feel like you're getting lots of length over the hips. Beautiful. And then we're going to go all the way to the other side, Skandasana, and open up with the chest. Smooth breath. Good. Let your hands come down, let your knee come down. Your hands are kind of in front of the knee that's on the floor. Kick up through that hip. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Amazing. Foot comes down. Gate pose. Get it right this time. Parigasana. Reaching and lengthening. Can stay quite high or lower. Can keep exploring length. This side, for some reason, much easier for me than the other side. Good. Coming down, lifting through that back knee. Lengthen. Lengthen, lengthen. You can have your hands higher in any of these if you feel like you're just rounding through the spine and it's not super comfy. And then the Parsvottanasana shape, so getting that length through that leading leg. We had this earlier with bricks under the hands. Let the bricks stay if you prefer. Last one. Good. Squat pose, Malasana. Good. Lift up with the chest. Let your arms press on your legs and press your legs onto your arms to get a really good traction going on, some really good work going on there. Good, forward fold, Uttanasana. Let your shoulders reach up and back. Good, and then swoosh your arms low for Utkatasana. And standing tall, smooth, breath in and out. Good, Utkatasana, take a breath in. Exhale, forward folding, arms behind. Good, and then have your hands come inside and bend your knees into your squat one more time. Good, going to your first side, I'm going to call it the right side, can't remember what I called it last time. Take the left leg back. Good, side angle pose. Adapt to lift higher if you want to. Get some traction between the arm and the leg, however low you are. So the arm pushes to the leg, but the leg is trying to push its way in. So you get more co-contraction along the muscles. Lift the chest a little higher. Yeah, fantastic. And then start to bend through the opposite leg into your Skandasana. One more time. And open up there into your twist. Good. And then come through to sitting. So you're going to sit. Have your right arm come inside and your left arm lift. So you might find you can put the right arm on the left leg and the left arm come over more. Feel free to catch somewhere on this leg or foot if that works for you and sort of pull forward with that shoulder. This might look like a joke. So if you're sitting much higher and just being less hyper bendy, then that's also really lovely place to be. Kind of just see what works in your body. Yeah, really nice. And then just tip forward once more and let your knee come down. Good. Kick up through that leg. And then take the leg behind, ankle lifting, knee. And then kick up through your heel. Good, let your knee come all the way down, round your spine, bring hips towards heels, and then come through with the chest. Rounding the spine. Good, come through with the chest, lovely. One more time, kicking up and over. Come through to your gate pose. Lifting and opening. Good, and then we're going to go into a star-shaped balance. Lean across and balance. And then we're going to come into half moon pose. You're going to bend this knee, do a bit of a cartwheel with your arms, and let this hand come down. So if you want a brick there, let yourself grab a brick. I actually find bricks a bit harder. So reaching up. So all that length along the legs and opening the pelvis, chest high. Kick up with that leg. Feel like your tailbone grips in at first, so you feel long and open across the pelvis. And then you can try kicking back with the heel if you want to, or catching. Fantastic. Look down, balance, come back for Utkatasana. And we're going to go back into that squat and take the second side. Really nice. Legs push onto the arms and arms push onto the legs. Find your breath. Good. And then have your left hand stays down, your right leg and arms swoosh away and lean over for your Uttita Baddha, extended side angle pose. Getting all the length you can. Have your hand as high as you want on the leg. Lengthening up and over through that right arm, right fingertips. Left sit bone nice and low. Good. Skandasana. Pushing up, bending into your knee. On the other side. And opening up. Let the breath stay slow and steady. Good. Come through to sitting whenever you're ready. Sit on as much height as you need to be comfortable. Good. And just see how this pose works in your body. So you might have your left arm or shoulder forward. You might have your left hand pushing on the left leg. You might have your right arm coming towards that foot or more here. See where that combination is of ease in the body, but enough stretchiness, enough sensation to be interesting, to keep the mind steady. So we can't really tell the ideal pose from looking. We have to feel it from the inside. Good. When it's enough for you, come up, tip forward, let your knee come down. Good, and then we're going to kick up and get a bit more active on this outer leg, outer hip. Have a good explore. And then let your heel kick up, lead the way through some internal rotation. Place your knee down. Good, any kind of cat-cow that you want to do. Letting the chest move through and then letting the hips slowly come down. Explore what feels good for you. Good. When you're ready, kick it out again with the leg for your gate pose. Parigasana. Chest is lifting and tailbone is rooting a little. Open it up, and you can play with being a star dangling in the sky. And then play with moving that straight into half moon pose. Grab a brick along the way. Lift with that hip. Kick up with the heel. Kick up with the outer edge of that back foot. Turn the chest to the sky. If you feel you've got a little bit more length, keep it out of the lower back to some extent and just reach towards the foot or to the foot. Kick back with the foot and open the chest. Take your time. When you feel it's enough, look down. Release the foot, bend the knee. Come through for Utkatasana. Bending the knees, lifting the chest high. And then through to Malasana into your squat pose. Coming all the way down. Amazing. Good. Little open up on each side, leaning and opening with the chest. Good. Hands to the floor, hop back through to down dog. Forward for plank pose. Hover the knees, hips towards heels. Down dog. Come through for plank. Knees hover, pull back. Good, last one. Good, and then let your knees come all the way down. Good, and we're gonna just come into kind of half camel, reaching around, right hand to the heel, toes tucked, left arm swoops around, lift, open with the chest, and come all the way down. To the other side and up. And all the way down, good. One more to each side. If you prefer a different variation, let that happen. You're pushing forward from the hips, from the glutes, and drawing the chest around. You might want to switch at the back instead of the front, or come into full camel, both hands. Good, switch, or let the hands both come down, lift with the chest, and then releasing off. Hands under shoulders, good. And then move your feet over to the left, and we'll cross the upper foot over the lower foot, left foot over right foot. Sitting and taking a twist. So Backbends, reaching the arms around, sit quite low, sit back, or sit onto a block or cushion if that feels more manageable. Nice length through the lower back after the back bend, and then that opening through the chest. You might like to close the eyes and feel like your face can soften more. Good, coming back through to table, switch your feet, sit low onto the ground or onto a brick, drop through the sitting bones a little as you turn. Let your breath feel fairly steady here. Good, releasing off from there. Good, come through to sitting. Let your legs open. And we're just going to do a little bit of rocking in. So the left foot's going to turn in, the right foot's going to turn out. And then you're just going to lean around towards the left. Take a little twist towards the ground. And then come through center. Take a forward fold if that suits you. And then go to the other side. Let your legs lead the movement. And then let your torso follow around as high or as low as you want to. And then come back through to center. And once more, feel free to take a forward fold there. And let your breath feel quite soft and smooth and easeful. See if you can soften the skin on the forehead a little. You might want to lean onto a bolster or onto some cushions or something. Good, gently coming up. Legs come in. We're going to take a moment to lie down and get super duper comfy. So you might want a bolster or something under your knees, or you may want a blanket under your head. Give your neck a little length if that feels good for you. I was like lengthening the neck. And then tuck under with your shoulders. Good, so just noticing what amazing work you've done with the body. The heart rate's probably a little elevated still. So just giving the attention a little bit more to how that exhalation leaves the body. And that focus on letting that exhale feel even more soft and silky and smooth. Not
changing it as such, but more just giving way to this process of letting the out-breath soften. And then letting the in-breath just take its place. So almost with awareness of the breath, but also, paradoxically perhaps, letting the breath do its own thing through that awareness, not forcing. And then we'll have a sense that over the whole of the body, the muscles do a little bit less holding onto the bones, less gripping. Feeling that in and around the jaw as those muscles there soften, in and around the eyes and the throat and the lips and the cheeks and the forehead. Over the skull, around the ears, over the back of the neck and over the shoulders, over the arms, into the wrists and hands. All the way up and down the back. Feel those muscles can release more. Into the rib cage, into the abdomen, down to the pelvis, down to the glutes, down to the pelvic floor, broadening, softening. The thigh muscles, all around the knees. Feel your calf muscles just soften more. The muscles around the ankles and the feet. Let your abdomen just feel really relaxed. And give yourself a moment just to be in this experience of being. And that moment when there's less doing and more just being present. Just give yourself a moment more just to soften or settle. And then you may like to stay longer. You may like to bring the hands onto the abdomen or over the chest. And then let your legs come in towards the body. And take your time to move slowly, gently to your side. The eyes can softly open. And then pressing the weight through the hands, so without too much effort around the neck or the head as you come up. Get comfy. Good, and we'll close the practice here. So thank you for practicing with me, and I hope you enjoyed that. See you soon.